Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode to the Beautiful Struggle podcast. And this is episode number 103, where we talk about personal development and business all on the same podcast. We also drop a new episode every single Monday of the week. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, please tune in, subscribe, come be part of the family and the community that we're growing here. We're doing a lot of amazing things at the Beautiful Struggle podcast. And we're also having on a lot of amazing guests, like the one that we have on today. A little bit about my guest. She is a serial entrepreneur. She's also the co-founder of Luxotic Retreats. Luxotic Retreats hosts corporate and entrepreneurial development retreats that help their members level up in life. Sounds amazing, right? What's even more amazing is where they host their retreats at, right? They host them in a lot of beautiful places in the world, such as Cabo, Zanzibar, and coming up in Dubai, or coming up at the end of the month, they're going to Dubai, I'm sorry, in December, right?
Yeah,
In December,
December.
right. So they host them in a lot of amazing places. We're definitely going to talk about her story and her journey as an entrepreneur, and obviously talk about the retreat as well. Welcome, Leticia Ricks. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be on the show, excited to talk more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, definitely thank you for jumping on the podcast. We were talking before, and your day is pretty busy. You got multiple, your mother, wife, and business owner, a lot of things going on. So we definitely appreciate you giving us a piece of your time. Before we jump into your story and your business and whatnot, I'm really curious. Where was the first place that you traveled to that just absolutely blew your mind? Now, we always have
Yeah.
places that we love to travel to, but what was that first place that you're like, dang, this thing changed my perspective?
Oh, it's such a great question. So I did not do a lot of traveling as a kid at all.
Hmm.
And I got my first passport at the age of 25. Actually, I might have been 26 when I got my first passport, and it was a vacation. Like, no,
Hmm.
like it was a pure vacation. My husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, was like, "You got to get out the country. Got to see how beautiful this
Hmm.
world is." And we took a vacation to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic,
Mm.
and it was epic. It like just being able to get away, being able to just I'm a water person, I'm a water
Hmm.
sign. I love just to retreat and to
Hmm.
reset, reconnect, recalibrate by the water, and just to see the rest of the world is so beautiful. It just made me never want to stop traveling
Right.
from then on. Obviously I fell in love literally there.
Hmm. Okay.
So that
Yeah.
also kind of made me fall in love even deeper with international traveling. So from there, my husband and I, we hosted our destination wedding in Punta Cana, Dominican
Mm.
Republic. We had
Okay.
almost 70 guests, so 70
Wow.
guests that were exactly. And that is what inspired me to own a travel company, just seeing
Mm.
how fulfilled people were
Yeah.
traveling, getting to know each other, connecting, and things of that nature.
No, that's amazing. If you can get 70 people to go to your destination wedding, you can definitely make a business out of it. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? No, that's super dope. I was gonna say I think I mentioned on the podcast, one of the first places that I traveled to outside the country that just blew my mind was Japan. I got the
Mm,
opportunity to go to Japan, and it was just I feel like I was in a different world. It was absolutely crazy. And
absolutely.
same with you. I was like, man, I want to keep traveling. I never want to like stop. You know what I'm saying? So, that's super dope. But let's get into your story, your background, like you
Yeah.
growing up. How did you get to where you're at? I know you kind of mentioned like the start of, the business that you wanted to start, but let's get into your background.
Yeah, so great question. My background is it's all over, but
Yeah.
I have a pretty unique story. We can literally be here all day, but I am launching a book at the end of the year,
Okay.
and it's gonna like lay it all out for you. But
Mm.
I was raised by a single mom, just me and my sister and my mom. So kind of classic black tail, right? I'm born and raised in New Jersey, so
Mm.
we lived. We never knew we were broke. We never knew any of that
It was
any of
normal.
that stuff. Right. But my mom worked in the city. She was a corporate employee, and she made life look like, we lived an incredible life, and we absolutely did. We lived in a very faith-based family, so Christian family, a lot of prayers, a lot of everything, and that's really what grounds me, both then and now. I definitely lead from faith-based. Christ is the
Mhm.
sender, Holy Spirit,
Mhm.
lead me, guide me wherever I
Right,
go.
right, right.
So, and he's literally done just that. I was a teen mom, so I had my first daughter, a late teen mom. I was
Mhm.
19, so I was a freshman in college when I was actually sophomore in college when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. And that wasn't easy, right? Because
Mhm.
everybody has a choice, and there is an option and freedom of choosing what you want to do. And I didn't want her or the baby, I didn't know if it was girl or boy at the time, to suffer because I, decided to make a choice, and everybody has their own choice. So I decided to go through with, having and raising this beautiful child, and she still is today. Today she's a freshman in high school, but I had to,
Wow.
kind of struggle with that, like
Mhm.
figuring out, staying in college. Nobody would let me quit college. I wouldn't let myself quit college.
Mhm.
So I'm lugging her up to class with me, and ended up thankfully getting my degree.
Mhm.
When she turned 5, and it was just a beautiful experience. And then that's when God just started opening so many doors. A month after I graduated, I met my husband. Well, I met him. He was, of course, my boyfriend then, but we've been together for 8 years, married for 5. And
Mhm.
then I started my first corporate company. Worst boss ever. Horrible, absolutely horrible person. I got fired from that job, right? And
Mhm.
then I was hired from this tech company as a intern. Right now, I've
Mhm.
already put in like some work. Right, I've got to graduate. I've got my degree. I don't want to go
Right,
back to
right.
being an intern, but thankfully, thank God, I was on unemployment. I was already getting paid. Like it was like, if there was any time to start this internship, it was then. And it was there that I learned all about software development recruiting. So it's a
Mm.
tech adjacent role. I learned everything that you needed to know from this boutique staffing agencies. Shout out to Altitude Staffing. They're still family today. Like a group of 6 to 8 individuals, and I learned everything about tech recruiting there. I
Mm.
got a random email 2 years later about joining Amazon as a tech recruiter. And I wasn't going to go. And one of my coworkers said, no, print out your resume, go to the interview now. And thankfully, I got the job. Um,
Mm.
I was there for I did tech recruiting for everything from entry level engineers all the way to chief technical officer.
Mhm.
So, and everything in between while I was there.
So
But I
for the
saw that there was
people,
a
yeah, not to cut you off. Sorry, sorry. For the people that don't know what a tech recruiter is, can you kind of
yes.
break that down real quick and then
Yes.
continue? Yeah,
Thank you. I
yeah.
try to, but so a tech recruiter goes out, kind of like how a sports recruiter will go and try to
Mm.
find like the
Mhm.
best athletes in the world to join the best teams in the world. A tech recruiter will go out and find the best engineers to join the best tech companies in the
Mm.
world. So I'm out going to the engineers that are at Google, that are at Facebook, that are at all of the other top tech companies, say, hey, you need to leave your company, come to Amazon. We're the best. We do it
Mm.
this way. And it was a blessing just to be able to build and learn so much about tech while I was there.
Would
Now,
you go to the Bay Area a lot?
I did. So yeah, I
Okay.
do. And that's because obviously Silicon Valley, that's where a lot of tech folks are. But there are additional hubs that are growing. Seattle is another
Mm-hmm.
huge tech hub. New York a little bit, like they're
Right.
trying. DC is as well, since HQ2, Amazon HQ2 has just moved there. So I did. And that's what really inspired me to want to travel, because
Mm.
I still do. I still work for Amazon. I'm in a different capacity, but I travel a lot for work.
Mm.
Today, I work in the DEI space, so that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's because of the candidates that I used to recruit, there were very few that looked like me, that were
Mm.
at the intersection of being a person of color or that
Mm.
were women. And I wanted to do something about that. So I joined the DEI team, and I got to travel all of these different events, all of these different conferences. And I'm like, this is so amazing. Like I'm leaving so fulfilled. I've met new people, I've learned something new. And it's like, why isn't this on a beach?
Mm,
Like literally,
right.
why is it like, this is great and all, but why can't I just like have lunch with the speaker and like get to know the speaker's life more? Like, why are they so intangible? So that's essentially what birthed the creation of Luxotic, because we combine the two. We combine, that luxury, high-end travel. We never want to lose sight of that, but we want to make it so that you're leaving with more. You're leaving with new insight, new connections. You're leaving with learning development that you hadn't gotten before you left. So our Dubai retreat is all about that. But yeah, that's essentially how I got here, where scaling out Luxotic, still very much leading global diversity
Mm-hmm.
strategy at Amazon. It's myself and my husband leading Luxotic. So he's COO. He leads all of the operations, and then he allows me to be CEO and just be the executive. But he leads our family, so so that's the
Right,
big
right.
charge he has.
No, absolutely. And I think it's absolutely amazing that that you're a Black woman in that position, that leading diversity in that program. It's absolutely an essential, because we need more
Yes,
people in those positions to look after each other, right?
thousand
Um,
percent.
so I'm curious, the idea of Luxotic retreat, it popped in your guys' head. What was like the first step to like get this going? Like how, take me through that process of what it was like,
Yeah.
and take me through the process of like, okay, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I got a job, and now I'm about to start a company. Talk to me about that and jumping outside of your
Yes.
comfort zone.
Oh man, great question. So just to even bring you back to like when we started this company pre-COVID. So
Mm,
there was actually a different partner that I had, a friend of mine, and we initially just wanted a women's retreat. We just wanted
mm,
it to be a women's retreat to Bali, it was just a thing. And then after connecting with some of my friends like that are in the corporate space, they're like, you've got a huge, impact from like a professional development perspective. Why don't you go into professional development? I'm like, that's a really good thought. That's the perfect idea to kind of bridge that gap. And then I started thinking like, well, I really want my husband to come on this. like,
mm,
like I
mm,
really want my husband to be there. And there's nothing that exists like this. Like there are tons of women's retreats, and they go all over the world and meet each other. But there are very few co-ed that allow for women and men to come
mm,
together, to learn together, to partner together, and work together. And that's essentially how we morphed. And then that is when Luxotic became Luxotic. It's like
mm,
we are going to be a co-ed professional development international retreat company. And we still decided to do our retreat in Bali. Of course, COVID happened and when we had
mm,
to postpone it. But we were able to, this is where the beautiful struggle comes in.
Talk about it.
That was one of the biggest challenges of
Mm,
this, of our current, business life cycle, because we had to pivot. And the pivot was either we shut this whole thing down in its early stages before we even go anywhere, or we keep chugging through a global
mm,
pandemic that's not allowing anyone to travel at all.
crazy.
And the idea was the latter, and it was a big risk. But what was great was we got to leverage off of everyone's anticipation on traveling and getting out there. So that's how we came to be. And that's what
Wow,
we
wow.
overcame so far.
And what was the first place that you guys went to?
Yeah, so our first retreat that we went to was this past June, when we went to Tanzania, Africa. We were supposed to go to Bali in April.
Hmm.
Bali didn't happen because it's still closed, but we already had Tanzania lined up as our second retreat. What would have been our second retreat, and that ended up being our first retreat, and it was on Juneteenth. It's in
Mm,
Africa. We're
mm,
talking, we're talking about wealth management and stocks and how to make
that's
six
awesome.
figures. It was absolutely epic. Like on the shores of Zanzibar, beautiful. So that
Mm,
was the first retreat. We've done a couple of domestic experiences. We do nation hikes. We'll do like brunch and paints, and then Dubai will be our next up retreat, and we
mm.
go. full calendar for
Yeah.
2022.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So walk us, I know you kind of mentioned what the retreat's about, but walk us through, what people can expect. I
Yeah.
know you guys have a lot of great speakers. Walk us through that experience of what it's like. Are we able to
Yes.
like experience Bali a little bit more? Or, like, what do you guys, what comes with the whole retreat?
Absolutely. Great question. So I'll walk you through what happens like T minus 4 weeks before we
Mm,
take off, because that's essentially when we start connecting with our guests and saying,
mm,
hey guys, we're getting excited. Let's get a virtual meet and greet together. And that's where we give all of our
okay.
guests tons of information so that they know what to expect, for the next couple of weeks as we lead up to the retreat.
That's dope.
Then about 2 weeks before we take off, we have one final meet and greet. We lay out all of the logistical details. Obviously, we're traveling in COVID, so we have to keep everyone safe and just making sure that everyone knows all of the protocols that they need to abide by for not only our local protocols, but also the arriving countries protocols as well. So we go
Mm,
over everything in detail. We go over the full entire agenda, and then everyone that has a flight package, we all depart together from JFK Airport. We have a luggage concierge that helps a lot of our
mm,
guests with their luggage so that they feel that luxe experience. We have an incredible partnership with Emirates, so it's kind of a slightly VIP kind of
mm,
check-in process. So you don't have to like stand in the regular
yeah.
line. You're standing in the
Okay.
Luxotic line, and you're feeling a little bit more VIP. So after we board a plane, I don't know if you guys have ever flown Emirates. Absolutely beautiful aircraft. It is, one of the top, I think like
Hmm.
top 5 airlines in the world.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
feels like you're literally about to get on a private jet.
Yep. Yep.
And it's beautiful. And for 13 hours, you get this amazing aircraft, all your meals, a bunch of snacks. It's just incredible. Wine, everything that you can think of. So 13 hours we're flying, we land, we go through customs, luggage concierge helps with all of the baggage, and then we arrive at our hotel. We always like to leave at least 12 hours for jet lag recovery,
Mm,
because our bodies, we typically always travel east, and our bodies are just not going, our
mm,
body's going to
mm,
feel like it's 4 p.m. and it's going to be 8
mm.
a.m. when we
Yep. Yep.
arrive. So we want that recovery time so that you can reset. And then we have our welcome dinner at night. So in Dubai, our welcome dinner is going to be a dinner in the sky. So we'll have
Wow.
like that complete overview, and we're meeting each other and greeting each other while we're in the sky. It's going to be epic. And then day 2 officially starts our retreat, and day 2 and 3 are pretty much top packed with all of our seminars. And we
Mm,
do that intentionally because we want for our guests to learn and experience everything first, let that absorb for the rest of their retreat while they're also getting to know our seminar leaders. So our
mm,
seminar leaders are involved. They're deep. They're, we're on excursions together. We're doing dinners together. We're getting to know each
mm,
other. So, now you've got day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to be, or 4, 5, 6, and 7 to be able to, hey, you said that thing, and now you're a little bit more engaged with
mm,
the speakers. The speakers in turn also get to meet our incredible guests, because our guests are professionals and entrepreneurs that are looking to scale their businesses, and
yeah.
most of them already have established businesses, or they're connecting with each other, with the other speakers. So there's a ton of just natural collaboration
Mm,
and exchange that happens for the rest of the retreat. So we always leave kind of a free day right in the middle. So like right after our seminar days, we have day 4. It's like, we're doing nothing.
mm,
You don't have to do anything. Here's where all of our add-ons come into play. So like, if you want to go skydiving, you can add that on to your retreat. If you want to go scuba diving, you add that on. We've got like these flowy dress gown
mm.
desert shoots. You can add that
Yep.
on.
Yep.
And then we'll have a photographer giving like photo shoots that day. So it'll be a very easy day unless you get some of these add-ons. Then the rest of the week is all of our pre-scheduled activities. So we're doing ATVs in the deserts. We're riding a camels. We're going to the tallest building in the world.
Burj
We're
Khalifa.
going. Exactly. We're watching a fire show. We're watching the belly dancing. So there's a
Mm,
ton of activities that we're gonna do. And then we always close off on the last day with this incredible yacht party. And we just have a blast, getting to know each other,
mm,
having fun. And we typically do at least one of our seminars on the yacht, our featured seminar. And then that way we're, still learning, but now we're having fun at the same time.
mm.
So it's always a blast. And that's pretty much what it looks like. The last day we fly out, and then we all stay connected through WhatsApp. We have like a
Mm-hmm.
little group of all of our travelers. So we're always staying in touch, either WhatsApp or on our Facebook group. It's super exclusive. You have to like pretty
Mm-hmm.
much travel with us to be in
Right.
this group. But yeah, that's what the end-to-end process looks like. And it's a lot of family that, comes
Yeah.
together.
No, that's absolutely amazing because I just recently went to a networking group, and it was like a
Mm-hmm.
3-day event. And what I loved about it is, even though it was only 3 days, we got to interact and really like learn about the people that we're with and build a
Exactly.
relationship with these people. So I can only
That's it.
imagine you spending 10, whatever the amount of time with these people. It's just it could be so beneficial for people's
So
businesses.
beneficial.
Even if you don't have a business, I'm assuming, and maybe your partner does, you guys can go together. You never know who
Yep.
you're going to meet and who you're going to network with and build a relationship with. I think that's absolutely amazing. That's so dope.
Yes.
Sounds like
Awesome.
a great time. After
Thanks.
I can only imagine the work that you and your husband are doing, getting out there and setting everything up. Maybe it's already set up. I don't know, but I can only imagine you guys don't get that 12 hours of rest. You just go right into it.
Nope. Nope,
Yeah.
there's no rest. Yeah. And we have a super solid team. Like that's one thing we are
Yeah.
very blessed to have. So like I have an incredibly strong executive assistant. We've got an event director who manages all of the event logistics, and I'm just kind of signing off on a lot of
Mhm.
it. And then we have one of our super brand ambassadors. Like we have a very robust brand ambassador program. I
Mhm.
call her a super brand ambassador because she'll go above and beyond,
Mhm.
just being like our typical brand ambassador. And then we also have like our on-site staff. So we allow for folks to be able to book at a minimal discount and in exchange for working. So they would be
Mhm.
our luggage concierge. They're a setup and breakdown crew. So, we're, delegating a lot of tasks so that we can make sure
Right.
that we are there for our guests. We are extremely guest obsessed. We want every single
Mhm.
one of our guests to have an incredible time. If they're not having an incredible time, what can we do? What can we fix? What do we need
Right.
to do, to make sure that it's great? So we rely heavily on our team, on our logistics side, so that we can be like super hyper focused on our guests
Mhm.
and them having an incredible experience.
No, that's absolutely amazing. So we can start wrapping this thing up. I know you have a full day ahead of you. Before I let you go, always have my guests leave the audience with one last piece of advice, one last gem. It can be business related, it can be anything travel related, whatever you want, and we'll end it on that note.
Mm,
Whatever you want, anything.
go places.
Mm,
Go places. And I mean that in the sense of traveling, but if you are a business that's going places, do just that.
mm,
Go. Just go. Don't overthink it. Yes, think it, but don't overthink it, because there is a lot of risk, there is a ton of reward. So I always
mhm.
tell like my mentees, guests, just go. Just go, and you'll be surprised at the places that you'll go,
Yeah,
both
yeah,
literally, mentally,
right.
from a business perspective. It'll it'll be the best decision that you ever made. So just go.
I agree. I agree. Where can people find you? Where can people find out about the retreat? Let them know. And I'll also include all the information to what you're going to give us in the description of this podcast.
Awesome. Awesome. You can find me at Leticia.Ricks. You can find Luxotic Retreats at Luxotic_retreats on Instagram, at Luxotic Retreats, one word, on Twitter. You can also find us on LinkedIn because we are a professional development
Mhm.
company. You can find us on Facebook, Luxotic Retreats. We're on every single social platform. So please hop in with us. We'd love to connect with you and have all of you on one of our retreats.
Absolutely. And with that being said, thank you once again for your time. It's your boy Chris. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Thanks.